Welcome to the Dowden Podcast. I'm your host, the official CRG, and today we're going to talk about why, in order for you to truly start to avoid that burnout and remain in control, then you first have to stop doing the same things over and over again and instead just really start to focus on your physical and mental health moving forward. But before we get started, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. That way you don't miss any weekly episodes and posts. You can find video of this episode strictly on YouTube, but the audio everywhere else. Now, when it comes to actually avoiding that real burnout, whether that's through your 9 to 5, your side hustles, those hobbies, or even just those daily struggles that life tends to throw at us, burnout is something that I feel like all of us struggle with, not even beating, but realizing because it's one of those things that truly does slowly build up over time and can hit you literally out of nowhere to where if you don't start to pay attention to these things, yet alone catch those signs right then and there, then it truly can start to take control, not only over you as a person, but what you're then trying to achieve. Because that's exactly what had happened with me until I finally started to not only change my daily routine, but then actually start to put my physical and mental health first before everything else moving forward. Because you see, ever since I started this podcast back in 2022, I have literally been on a nonstop grind ever since. Like, literally, for the past 3.5 years, I have posted a podcast every single week, no matter if it was Christmas, my birthday, if I was sick, if I had personal issues. Like, it did not matter. I made sure to post a podcast. And now, yes, that has helped me grow along the years, especially putting out that much content and staying with the schedule as a solo creator. But the problem is that when you go and do that, especially for so long, you then have to then take care of yourself. And that's exactly where I was going wrong. Because instead of maybe just working 5, 6 hours a day, taking breaks, and then making sure that I was getting good sleep, I would then go and do the exact opposite by literally pulling these 15 to 16 hour days, not eat anything the whole time, go to bed at 4 a.m. just to wake up at 10 for my 9 to 5 and do it all again the very next day. And this is something that I did the whole time, having it just genuinely get to a point to where it started to take a toll on me, to where the things that I was actually starting to be passionate about, that I loved doing, was now starting to become a chore, having me slowly realize that I wasn't just having these bad days every single day. No, I was going through that burnout. And if I didn't start to take a real break right then and there, then I truly wasn't going to be able to keep moving forward, let alone try and find that real motivation behind the things that I was doing. Because in all reality, and this took me a very long time to learn, but when it comes to actually experiencing that real burnout, more than likely you aren't feeling the way you are because you're overworking or because you're taking on too much, even though those things can play a major role in it. But mainly it's because of what you're doing and then how you're actually going about these things and prioritizing moving forward. Because as you see with me, I could work nonstop day after day, right? Working wasn't the problem for me. The problem was the fact that I would prioritize the wrong things and I wouldn't take care of my mental health while in the process. And that's the main reason why these things start to not only take a toll on me, but most of us, because when you do go and you just do something for so long, day in and day out with little to no change, you are eventually going to get burnt out. It's eventually going to take control, have a say, grab your mental health, your actions, whatever you're struggling with, that burnout is going to take control of. So when it comes to these things, understanding that you have to put your mental health first and really start to prioritize the right things over the wrong ones genuinely is so important if you want to start to beat and remain in control when it comes to this burnout. So, if you genuinely want to start to avoid that real burnout, like we said earlier, whether that's through your 9 to 5, those side hustles, or even just those day to day struggles that life tends to throw at us, then understanding that you have to stop doing the same thing on a day to day basis and just really start to switch things up and really focus on not only your physical, but mental health moving forward truly is so important because as you see with me, these things truly will go and take control, right? They will go and mess up your mentality. They will take control of your actions, your moods, your feelings, and whatever else you're struggling with. So, if you really want to start to see some real changes and really start to beat that burnout, let alone start to avoid it, then you have to start taking care of you and really prioritize the right things in your life. Because I promise you that until then, these things will just truly keep happening and stop you from reaching that full potential. So, moving forward, instead of just constantly waking up and doing the same routine day in and day out, or just always working these crazy hours without taking any breaks, go ahead and just really start to change these things up. Like, seriously, whether that's through your eating habits, how much you work, where you work, what time you start, when you go to bed, so on and so forth. That I don't know because we are all struggling with our own personal problems leading to our own personal burnout. But what I do know is that if you really want to start to avoid these things, let alone remain in control when you need to the most, then the first thing you have to do is go ahead and stop doing the same things over and over again and just really start to focus on not only your physical, but your mental health moving forward. But with that said, today's quote is by Michael Gungar. He once said, "Burnout is what happens when you try to avoid being human for too long." I appreciate you tuning in. You can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And this is the Dowden Podcasts.